Hi guys, this is Vasil from the Bee Dance CPAs, and in the prior video we were talking about the 4 criteria to qualify for the R&D credit. In this video, I would like to talk about the recent court cases that have bearing on the R&D credit. So the first case is 2023 court case, Little Sandy Coal Company versus the Commissioner. So it's Little Sandy Coal Company versus the Commissioner. So in this case, the company Little Sandy Coal manufactures vessels, mainly docks. So the argument that the company made was that supervision of the project of experimentation should be included as R&D costs. But the tax court said, no, it's not includable in the cost of experimentation because it doesn't meet the substantially all part test. So it's called substantially all parts of an experimentation process. So the company argues, no, supervisory costs must be included as a part of calculating R&D credit, but the tax court says, no, it should not be included because it does not meet substantially all parts of an experimentation. In other words, you cannot include supervision of the project and confuse it with the actual process when engineers are actually working at the experimentation project. The taxpayer didn't want to allow the cost of supervisors as a part of the credit. The company appealed the tax court decision to the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals. And the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals examined the case again, and it said, well, supervisory costs can be included in the R&D costs. However, the taxpayer, Little Sandy Coal Company, didn't provide sufficient substantiation to claim supervisory costs. In other words, there was no clear substantiation what portion of the managers, of the supervisors' salary is in fact substantially belongs to the R&D project. So the 7th Circuit sided with the taxpayer in that supervisory costs are part of the R&D process, but they sided with the IRS and with the tax court, stating that even though these costs are part of the R&D process, but because sufficient substantiation was not provided, the R&D credit had to be denied. So that's one case. The second case that builds on this case is called Moore versus the Commissioner versus the Commissioner. And this case has to do with the NAVCO. And NAVCO is a company that manufactures scoreboards for high school and collegiate athletic events. So in this case, the company is owned by Gayla Moore, and her husband Scott helps her. But the company is a subchapter S corporation, owned 100% by Gayla Moore. So in that case, what the taxpayer claimed that the salary, the portion of the salary of the COO, Chief Operations Officer, had to be included in the R&D cost. And the tax court said that it was not allowable because the taxpayer could not substantiate even the percentage of supervisory activities dedicated to R&D projects. So the argument here was not that substantially all parts of the experimentation process, as in the prior case, because the prior case, Little Sandy Coal Company established that supervisory costs can be a part of the R&D process. So that wasn't the issue in the argument, but the issue was substantiation of the claim, that this chief operation officer could not substantiate that he said between 50 to 65% of his work was dedicating to supervising R&D experiments. And then the case was appealed to the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals, and the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals sided with the tax court. So you see, what's important about two of these cases is that Little Sandy Coal Company case is important because it said supervisory costs can be a part of the R&D process. But what both of these cases teach us, that while supervisory costs can be included as a part of R&D costs, sufficient substantiation must be provided. So payroll reports don't indicate the percentages by function or activity. They just say indicate payroll. So it shows that in order to truly claim R&D credit, there must be higher substantiation to truly prove that the case holds water. So if you do want to make sure that your R&D case is well substantiated, we can help you substantiate your positions to make sure that those activities truly merit the definition of the R&D credit. So this is Vasil from the Bee Dance CPAs, and remember, here at the Bee Dance CPAs, everything is negotiable, even taxes.